of all, I want to welcome everyone to the call. This is our third call that we started back up this year, and so I just always like to tell people what is the purpose of the entrepreneur call and why is it always on Mondays. So I typically have this call every Monday starting at 6:30. This is something I used to do last year religiously every Monday until September of last year, and then I kind of got busy with my own business, so I kind of ventured away from it. But I've had a few people tell me, Tamika, when you're going to start back up your entrepreneur calls, so I decided to start them back up the 1st of February. So the purpose of the call is just to give everybody, especially Mondays, it seems like sometimes people are dragging into their new week. So I wanted to make sure that I always have not only a guest speaker on the call, but also have a different topic each week, and a topic that we will be able to implement into our business and start using right away. So for those of you who are new to the call, again, I want to welcome you to the call. Also, I'm going to give you instructions at the end of the call. I would like for you to send me an Impress email just introducing yourself and the name of your business, and also 3 takeaways from your business or that you would like to implement in order to take your business to the next level. And I do promise to get back to you within 24 hours. And for everyone that I received an email from last week, you should have already received an email from me. Okay? So people always ask what I do. So who is Tamika Williams? I'm a speaker. I'm a business coach, owner of an event planning company called Wealthy Concepts, and creator of Start Me Up Business Club. And that's where I teach entrepreneurs about leadership, and action, how to be a person of action and development. If you are not constantly growing and developing, then you are dying. And that comes from my mentor, who is Dr. Will. He's one of my mentors, actually. I have a couple. So that leads me to tonight's topic, which is how to stay focused on your vision. So tonight we're going to talk about how to get focused and stay there. And so I have the pleasure of having a guest speaker on the line of Qosmic Qadence, and he is someone that I have been following for a while, and he has his stuff is just on point. I mean, even from the last 6 months, he has been able to elevate his business to the next level. And one of the main things that I appreciate about Q is the fact, and that's Q for short, out of Qosmic Qadence. And one of the main things that I really appreciate about Q and his business is the fact that no matter what he is doing, all of his stuff lines up correctly. And it all seems to be part of one vision. Even though, I see Q, he's traveling all over the United States. I mean, this man is becoming global. But, again, what I see is that his visions line up, and all of his titles that he has. You're talking about a poet, a speaker. He's a youth motivator. He's an entrepreneur. He also has a couple of events that are coming up within the next couple of weeks that we're going to be discussing. So he's also going to give you some tips of success on how to stay focused on your vision and not to be pulled in many different directions. And I know for me, as I was researching this topic, one of the things that stood out to me is clarity, is you have to be clear on your vision. If you're not even sure what you want or where you want your business to be, then you have to come before you can even move into the next level of your business. So I always ask my clients all the time, what is your dream? What do you dream your business to be? Okay. Another success tip that you can implement is you have to eliminate distractions, which unfortunately means people sometimes, and then you must identify who are the people that you want to keep around you. Entrepreneurs should be hanging around with entrepreneurs and like-minded people. You should be hanging around with people who can motivate you, inspire you, and empower you. Of course, don't wait for them to do that, but you should have those type of people in your circle. Time. Make sure you're prioritizing your time. You coordinate your time with your business. Your business needs to become you. So everything else needs to revolve around your business. So the question that I get most of the time is, how can I stay focused on my vision when life is pulling me in many different directions? Okay. Last week we had the pleasure of having Aquila on the line, and for those who were on the line last week, you heard her story, and you heard the fact that, you know, she flew in that day from a funeral from burying her sister, you know, yet she had 2 events scheduled the week of that she still had to continue to be there and be a leader, even though she was mourning the death of her sister. So, you know, through life, how do you stay focused on your vision, even when life throws you curveballs like that? So without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring Q on the line. And Q, are you there?
Got it.
We have Q. Hey, Q.
How are you?
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's okay.
Yes. So I just wanted you to talk a little bit about your business. First of all, if you can start off with what it is that you do, and then give us some tips on how you were able to take your business to the next level in less than 6 months by staying focused on your vision.
Well, first of all, I happen to write poetry and speak life. I publish books as well under the name Qosmic Qadence, and I spell that Cosmic and Cadence with Q's. But what I do is, or what I have done around that art is, or that art form, as I sort of try to think of ways to make myself legitimate, you know, beyond just some words that rhyme or some words that touch people. You know, how can I inspire people to action, and not just inspire them to action, but how can I sort of bring them into safe spaces where we can continue to cultivate ideas, you know, to further, you know, those good vibes and those good feelings. So, you know, what I do and what I have done over the last, you know, I guess, you know, six months or so to a year is I'm, you know, just trying to figure out ways that I could incorporate my gifts and that career focus, you know, from sort of being focused as a full-time poet, you know, into, you know, that avenue of hosting events and the like also. But if I had to give some tips on, or I had to give a tip on how to stay focused on, you know, on your vision, you know, I would say number one, you have to have a vision to begin with. So you have to, you know, kind of know exactly what it is, or have an idea of exactly what it is that you want to do. I have this thing that I say to kids, you know, when I go in as a youth motivator. It's kind of where I started this, but I always tell the kids, if you can't see it, you can't be it. You know, and I just feel like that's the absolute truth. You have to be able to see it. So there's got to be some kind of a vision before there can be some acquisition. I can't just go out and get something that I don't even know what I'm going to get. I'm just like wandering aimlessly through Walmart, which is typically what happens, and then we end up with $50 worth of crap in our basket that we didn't want because we just like wander aimlessly. So you got to know exactly what's your vision, what's your target. You know, once you lock that thing in, you know, it becomes easier then to sort of be passionate about walking in a direction towards fulfilling that thing. But you have to know exactly what it is. I just feel like a lot of the times over the years, I spent a lot of time having people tell me that I needed to define my reason why and all these things first. And I didn't even have a vision. So you want me to say why I want the thing? I don't even know what I want yet. So there's no way I can tell you why I want what I don't even know. You know what I mean? It's like I haven't even defined it. So I feel like, you know, that's definitely, you know, key. That's number one.
Okay. Yeah, and that's great stuff. I totally agree with you. I think, first of all, you have to have a vision. Because if you hit the nail on the head, if you don't have a vision, then, you know, why do you want what you want? You know, you're unable to answer those questions. And I tell my clients all the time, if you stick to your vision and your values, you can find a greater purpose. So do you feel like you found your greater purpose?
You know what's interesting about, you know, the career direction that I've decided to go into, and I can't even really call it a career. I had a mentor many years ago tell me, he said, find the thing that you do for free, and you'll make a fortune at it. Right? Find the thing that you do for free, you'll make a fortune at it. And at the time, I remember thinking to myself, like, you know, the sort of the joke of my life, I think, is like God made me good at so many different things, but not exceptional at like any one in particular, you know. So that's almost like a curse. I'm like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna be good at it. It's like, you know. So I'm like, I don't know any of those things that I would do for free. I want to be paid for all of them if I can, you know. But motivating and inspiring people is essentially the thing that I've done for I love giving a good motivational, inspirational word to a family member, a friend, or anybody that I encounter if I can. I'm not saying that I'm even as a motivational guy, I'm just seeking out spaces, just to motivate us. But sometimes I'm in the grocery store, I don't want to do anything but come in there and get eggs. I'm like everybody else, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Absolutely. Mhm. And you're right about that. Is you have to pick something that you would do, like Michael Jordan. He says he would play basketball forever, whether he got paid to do it or not, because it was something that he just loved to do. And so a few things that I can appreciate about you, Q, just, from seeing you at different networking events and seeing you at some of your shows, and you're just always in such a, positive attitude. You have such great energy around you, and you're a great leader. And, even though I see you as a leader and other people in the community see you as a leader, one thing that I really do love about you is the fact how grateful and humble that you really are. And I can really see, your heart when you give things out. You're pouring your poetry, you're pouring your spoken word out into the lives of many. I can really feel your heart into the words that you're saying. So I just wanted to say, that I appreciate everything that you do for the community, for the youth, and I'm just really inspired by the work that you have put forth. I know you've been around a lot longer since I met you, but I'm just saying from the time I started following you, I've just really seen you take your business to the next level, and you're someone that I am really looking up to as well.
I appreciate that.
So let me ask you this, Q. How can people get in contact with you? Where can they find you at?
Absolutely. Anybody who is interested can actually look me up on any of the social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter. I am at Qosmic, but my Qosmic is spelled with a Q, not a C. So QOSMIC, and then underscore. Cadence is also spelled with a Q and not a C, QADENCE. So that should be at QOSMIC underscore QADENCE. And that's the same on Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, just Qosmic and Cadence, no underscore. Or my website, of course, CosmicCadence.com, to sort of plug in, check out any of the events or upcoming events or any of the other things that I have going on, and around around the globe.
Okay, all right. So, and what events do you have coming up within the next couple of weeks that we should know about and make sure that we're there to support and attend and learn from?
Well, absolutely, and for those, I'm not sure, how far-reaching, the call goes tonight. But if anybody happens to be in San Diego or happens to know anybody who's in San Diego, not necessarily, there, we all have resources and contacts. But if anybody should happen to know anybody in San Diego on this, or not this Friday, but Friday, February the 26th. We're going to be at the Queen Bee. Myself, best-selling authors Sylvester McNutt and Horatio Jones are going to be in San Diego for a night of perspective with these gentlemen. Finally having the opportunity to share their perspective in person, as opposed to doing so from behind the devices. They grown a pretty large following on the internet, so it's pretty exciting to embark on this journey with those kids. Or those guys, not kids, but with those guys. So yeah, it's going to be incredible. So I'm looking forward to that. That's on the 26th here in Phoenix on Friday, March the 4th, at the Newton, which is at 300 West Camelback. We're going to be hosting a paint and sip event. Starts at 8:00 p.m. So that's one of those wine and paint, kind of an events, or one of those paint events that will serve alcohol and beverages. And we'll just have a really good time. Incredible artist Antoinette Cawley is going to come in, and she will be instructing us through the evening. I don't know. I was thinking of doing some poetry in between if everybody's, perhaps, working the instructions as given. But we'll kind of figure it out. I just kind of want to spice it up and make it a little bit different than any of the other, sort of paint events that people have gone to before. And I want to want to put my staple on it, to a degree, but we'll see what comes about. I still have some other ideas that I'm working on as well. But that's going to be on the 4th of March, and then on the 5th following day, same location at the Newton, which is at 300 West Camelback. We're going to be, again, myself, Sylvester McGann, and Horatio Jones in Phoenix for a night of perspective similar to the San Diego event. So another opportunity for the three of us to share encouragement, inspiration, to speak life into individuals, and just sort of get through, this big cluster of life, as best we can together.
Okay. All right. So that's good stuff. So you guys heard. So he said, if anyone's listening from San Diego, Qosmic Qadence Q will be out there. And I will also be posting this information in the Arizona Coffee Klatch group. And then also he has an event March 4th, the Paint and Sip event. And that sounds really fun. I'm definitely make sure me and my girls show up to that one. And, yes, we would love to hear you do some poetry in between.
Definitely.
So, I just want to thank you so much, Q, for stopping by. And I just really thank you for your perspective on your business and where it's going, and also on your tips that you have given us on how people can stay focused on their vision, even though when you're being pulled in many different directions. And I think we can all agree an entrepreneur is a person with many responsibilities. So we don't only have just one duty or one job. I mean, we have several different things that we're trying to acquire. However, we do have to master one skill at a time, right?
That's true. Yeah, I would say that's true, to a degree. And we know that life doesn't just only hand you one thing at a time. So we have to learn to multitask and kind of do a thing that may be a little bit uncomfortable, but we may still have to tough it out. So that's just life. That's how things go. So understanding that business is no different. You can continue to make excuses as to why you're not doing the things that you need to do in your business, or why you haven't started your business yet, or why you haven't even figured out what your purpose is yet. You can make excuses for that stuff, or you can actually do it. You actually have to spend some time thinking about it. If you never even consider what your purpose is, well, of course you don't know what your purpose is. You never even thought about it. Think about it. And what'll happen is you'll get yourself, and you should probably pursue that space of where you run smack into a wall in your thoughts, and you can't think any farther. That's the place that you want to get to, in terms of trying to figure out where you belong, because that place is going to force you to try to figure out something else. It's going to force you to be sensitive to the answers that come as a result of now you being receptive and open to wanting something different, because now you're like, I need something. I know what it is. It's through that wall right there, and I don't know how to get it. You'll figure out how to knock that wall down. So that's the space that, I always feel like people, that's the space that we're missing. That's the space that I've missed for years. And I'm just not falling into this space, but I've done some things to put myself in this space, and to keep myself in this space. There are a bunch of things that need to be done. And this is tough. This is like a mission of recalibration every single day to make sure that I'm growing and that I'm not staying in the same space, because not growing is death. So we always have to be evolving and growing and doing something more. And I don't even know if I could ever, as long as I'm in business, I'm in competition with no one. I'm in competition with no one except failure.
I love that.
And failure to me means that I don't accomplish something significant, something great, that I don't do something magical, right? That's failure to me. So I'm in competition with no man or no woman breathing. I don't have any. I want to see everybody do well. We can all win, but we can all figure out how to win together, and that's what motivates me in business. Yeah. That's why I help people so much. That's why I share resources. That's why I'm all about community, because there's enough for everybody. And when people wrap their mind around this simple concept, that there is enough for all of us, if we will just help one another, especially in the Phoenix market, and it's the same in every market, but especially in the Phoenix market, if once we just wrap our mind around the fact that you are maybe 2 degrees of separation from achieving your wildest dream right here in Phoenix, like 2. Any other city maybe 6 degrees, right? You have to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. No, here in Phoenix, it's like all you have to do is start asking questions, and somebody's like, that's my friend's boss or something, right? It's so easy here. Networking. Just ask questions. Get out. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, guess what you do? You fail. So a lot of people get these wonderful ideas and they're like, I don't want to share this with anybody. I don't want to ask anybody questions because I'm afraid somebody's going to steal my idea. So instead, they hold on to the idea forever and they never share it. So at that point, what's more important? You getting credit for the idea or the idea changing the world? What's more important? What's more important? So go for it. Let's go. I don't know what people are waiting for. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is our life. This is it. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, whomever else you praise, Oprah Winfrey, she's not playing with life. Why are you guys playing? Will Smith, he's not playing with life. All these celebrities that people are praising and watching on TV, they're not playing. They're living. Why are you watching them? Live. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. So that's the space that I'm in. That's the space that I live in. It's like, so when people are like, you stay positive, I'm like, I have to stay in that space. Otherwise, I'm going to question what I'm doing every day. Like, what am I doing? I'm not going to go get a job. I'm not going to do something else because this is crazy. So I have to see myself in that kind of space. I'm sorry. I'm rambling.
Oh, that's great. That's good stuff. People need to hear that. So what I hear you saying, too, is by you giving and serving others, then in return you're able, you're fulfilling your desire, your dream, and your vision by serving others. Am I on the right path with that?
Yeah, that's like totally it. That is it. People look at me crazy here. They're like, people are just like totally taken aback when I'm like extending the courtesy of helping them and sharing resources. But every single person that I meet, I'm thinking either this person can help me or I can help them. Every single person that I meet. And that's not a negative thing to be like, I'm trying to use them. I'm like, what can you do for me? Or what can I do for you? Every single person. So every encounter sometimes is not for me. Sometimes I need resources with somebody else. I'll meet somebody else like, I need to introduce you to Tamika Williams. She's doing blah, 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 blah. You guys will be perfect. It's a perfect marriage. I'm going to introduce you. I love that. I love that. But that's how we'll grow. That's how we grow as a community. That's how we'll grow as entrepreneurs. That's how we grow as individuals. It's not going to be one person is not going to put Phoenix, Arizona on the map. I don't care what job or what anything you're working in. It's a long shot. We're working together, pooling our resources. Man, look, what can't we do? What can't we do? So everybody wants to be the one who started the thing. I don't care about that. I just want to do it. Let's do it.
Absolutely, yeah. Let me know how I can help you, like you said. Okay, that is great stuff, yeah, and I totally agree. And when you said you don't compete with anybody, you only compete with failure. So there's a quote that I love. It says, focus on your successes and learn from your failures. And that's what an entrepreneur does. You hear the excitement in Q's voice. I hear him. He's like, let's go. He's an action man. So if you're not following Q, I advise you to start following him. Start checking out some of his events, supporting the things that he's doing in the community with the youth. He's, on his way to be a global leader. So once again, Q, I want to thank you for stopping by and speaking and sharing your expertise on how to stay focused on your vision. And if I can just add anything else to that, Q made it very plain that you must be clear with your vision. Sometimes, and like he said, you need to take time and really think about what it is that you want. And then once you think about it and you have that vision, then you need to write it down. Okay? So once you write it down and once you start speaking things, that's when it becomes real. So
Absolutely.
Did you want to add something, Q?
Yeah, I was going to say, and I absolutely agree with 100%, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but absolutely. Even when I say, when I say if you can't see it, you can't be it, which is fair. If you can't see it, there's no way conceivably you're going to be the thing, But to take that, to take that one step further and not being able to see it, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. If you can't see yourself doing it, why do you deserve it? Why should you be a millionaire? Why should you be a successful business owner? Why should you be a husband, a wife? Why? You can't even see it. Why? It doesn't make sense.
Wow.
So you don't deserve the thing. So you have to be able to see it. So we have to be able to put ourselves in visionary space that then puts us in action. Spaces of action. So I have to be able to see it. Once I see it, seeing is the only thing that I need to do to know that the vision is possible. I just need to be able to see it. as I can say, I'm not saying that I've dreamed about myself flying and stuff like that too. I'm not talking about that. That's great, right? But I'm saying I have to be able to see myself doing something, the thing that I'm really passionate about, the thing that I really want to do most. If you could do anything, you know, when people are like, well, how did I find my purpose? I say, if you could do anything, just think about it. Anything. If you could do anything, money was not an object. Money was not an object. Tomorrow, you show up at 9 o'clock doing this. What would it be? Whatever that is, whatever just made your heart drop, that's what you need to be doing the rest of your life. And if you're not doing it, you're wasting time. Stop it. Cut it out. Knock it off. You're being ridiculous. Stop it. It's crazy. It's foolishness. You're never gonna be satisfied. You're never gonna be fulfilled. You gotta do the thing. You gotta do it. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. This is not a rehearsal. It's not practice. This is life. Live it. Live it.
Yeah, and I tell my clients all the time, you are the star of your movie. Everybody else is just extras. So you've got to live the life that you always dreamed of living. You know, if
Absolutely.
you're just sitting around waiting, you know, and I appreciate your story, too, because I remember you sharing a story with me, how you said that, you know, you were just, you know, living each and every day. And then, but you always had a pulling, you know, you felt something more. And then one day you just came to realization, hey, what made you come to that realization that you needed to be doing more?
You know what? I was burned out working in the entertainment industry. When we moved out here from the East Coast to the West Coast, we started to work 16 to 18-hour days. And, you know, this was I rarely had a day off. So it was almost 4 days of travel every single week. You know, Fridays we'd fly out of Phoenix into some other city. We fly out of that city on Monday back into Phoenix, hit the ground running. I'm back in the office, back out of the city on Friday. It was grueling, you know. And but I worked for that company for 6 years. But after a year here, I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. I'm getting too old. No, I can do this forever. You know, let's not get that twisted. I could have done that forever. But to myself, I could not do that. To my purpose, I could not do that. I was like, I'm dumping in my entire life, my passion, my everything into this company. Why am I doing it? This is not my company. That's crazy. I'm building this person's dream. I love what I did. I was very good at it. I did it to the tune of a 6-figure salary, but that's not why I'm here. That's not why I was born. I wasn't born just to make a six. Nobody's gonna remember that. I don't give you kudos or write-ups in history books for making a 6-figure salary. That's crazy. You know, that's not. No. No. What is my purpose? Why am I here? So when I got to that point of burnout, I was like, you know what? I have to. If I'm going to work this hard for anybody, it's going to be for me. And you know, some things happened in the space of me activating, you know, that stance and taking that stance in the universe. Some things then, you know, activated that. You know, just had that eye. You know, by the end of 2013, you know, was full time working for myself as a writer, as a speaker. So that's just sort of what I've been in figuring out space and ever since then.
Wow, that's great. Okay, well, once again, I do. If does anybody have any questions? I want to go ahead and close the call up. Anybody? Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Q. I'm sorry. Can I call you Q?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
What I found out is that with my idea that I do have a vision, but the problem that I'm running into is that staying focused on the vision, because right now I do have a lot of influential people in my life, but the problem is that they either retire from a company or they retire from the military. So I find it very difficult to speak to them about where I want to go, the vision I have, and everything like that. And you know, they're very negative. How does a person stay focused during that time when they're hearing all those negative words?
Okay, so I'm hearing a few things that essentially boil down to one thing, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, here's my thing. What's important? What's important is bringing the mission, is bringing that vision into fruition. Is that important? Because if that's important, there's not a solitary negative person that I know walking this planet or that I can encounter who's going to stop me from doing my thing. I'm going to do it because it's important for me to do it. So what happens is when we begin to stretch out and we begin to see a life for ourselves bigger than where we are, that's a threat to some of the people who are around us because they want to stay in a box. I had a mentor tell me years ago that sometimes your success in life is going to equal the failure of other people. It's just going to equate to their failure. They're not going to want to see you advance because you moving means that they, it's evident or becomes evident that they stayed the same. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But those kinds of people, you have to identify them quickly and you have to move on. What happens is a lot of people are, those people identify themselves quickly, and then what happens is the fragile entrepreneur latches onto that person for approval. And you will never get that person's approval. They're negative, man. They're going to always be negative. It doesn't matter how successful you are. Think about it. Richard Pryor had some people probably think he was crazy for wanting to be a comedian. Kevin Hart the same way. But he's now very successful. Isn't that something? Some people are never going to believe in you. It doesn't matter what you do. Stop seeking the approval of other people. What's important? Is it important to do the thing? If that's important, then do it. That's it. The rest of it will handle itself. We get bogged down trying to figure it all out and get all the right people on board, and then all these funny, wonderful things and unicorns are going to sprout from the sky and it's going to be awesome. No, it's not. It's not. That's not realistic. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be a struggle. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be easy for you in the beginning. Maybe it will be. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. Everything plays out a little bit different. But you have to be willing to put your head down and go for the thing that you know and not depend on everybody's support, because you're not going to get everybody's support. That's probably one of the things that kills young entrepreneurs quicker than anything else, is thinking that all these people that they know, all these people that love them, all these people been liking their stupid selfies forever are all of a sudden going to buy their product or buy their new idea as soon as they drop it on Facebook like it's hot, and it gets no like. And then the young entrepreneur drops out, and they start to think, you know what, that's crazy. I'm not going to do that thing. Everybody's right. I'm going to be like everybody else. Why would you do that? So if you have no resolve, you're going to be just like the boo birds. You're going right to them. Why would you want to do that?
Exactly. Okay.
So that's good stuff. Yes. So thank you. That was a good question, Timothy, and thank you, Q. I couldn't answer that better myself. I agree 110% with what you said. So once again, I want to thank everyone for stopping by the Entrepreneur Call this week. To invite your friends and fellow entrepreneurs to next week's call. Again, every Monday it'll be a different topic, a different guest speaker. For those of you who are brand new to the call, please do not forget to send me an impressed email, and put in the subject line impress, IMPRESS, and please email it to me, and that's Tamika, TAMIKA, .Williams @wealthy-concepts.com. And then again, just introduce yourself, the name of your business, and 3 things that you would like to implement to take your business to the next level. Again, our guest speaker today was Qosmic Qadence. You can reach him on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's Qosmic with the Q, OSMIC, Cadence, QADENCE.com. So make sure you check him out, follow him. He's a great inspiration, and he can help take your business to the next level. Thank you all for chiming in, and you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Tamika.
Bye.
God damn.